Hello everybody and welcome to the Quilter's Apothecary. Today we are doing a tutorial on how to do curved crosshatch in a triangle shape. The triangle shape is a little bit different to do curved crosshatch in than say like a square or a circle. So I wanted to show you a few tips that I use when I'm doing curved crosshatch in a triangle shape, and that will hopefully help you out. So let's go down to the quilt here, and we actually have a triangle shape that I have stitched into the quilt as an example for the tutorial. Now on this shape I actually have a triangle that goes out to 12 inches. So we've got 12 inches, 12 inches, and then obviously this one, because it's a cornerstone, is not going to be 12 inches. It is not an equilateral triangle. So what I do to measure and mark for curved crosshatch is I locate the center of each line and put a chalk registration line. So again, this was 12, so I went to 6. The side was 12, I went to 6. And then because I call it the butt of the goose was a little bit longer, I measured that, and that ended up being about 17, which would be 8.5 inches. So I went to 8.5 inches, put my registration mark. Now, obviously we can't do a crosshair in a triangle because it wouldn't turn out looking right. So the way that we mark for a triangle is I very simply line my ruler up, whatever marking ruler you're going to use, and I go right to the center and I extend off the butt of the goose, the butt being the widest part of the triangle in a non-equilateral triangle. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to extend that right out with my chalk. I'm going to turn my ruler and then I'm going to line this one up with this one, and I'm going to come up, and that will automatically be extended off of the side. So you almost get like some sort of a video game alien thing from the 70s here. But you still have your crosshair, it's just that it extends off of, again, the butt of the triangle. So now we're going to go ahead and grab our curved ruler, and we're going to go over how we're actually going to quilt this. The triangle shape that we're actually using for this particular example and tutorial is actually a bit bigger. Now our standard set, small, medium, large, extra large of our curves works fantastic, but a lot of people have asked for bigger because we do a lot of bigger cornerstones and quilts. So we actually have the new double X large of the Mista curves, and we also have the giant for really, really big cornerstones, or even doing curved crosshatch in bigger squares and circles and that sort of shapes. This one is one that I would use as a specialty ruler. What I'm finding in the bigger ones is that I'm using the double X large most of the time. So now what I'm going to do, we've got our area crossed out. Just like before when we were in our other shapes, I'm going to start and follow that crosshair over. Now I'm going to go over, I've got my tape lined up to 3/4 of an inch, which means we're going to, with the hopping foot on the machine, we're going to get a inch crosshatch. I'm going to do the same exact thing as I've always done. I'm going to lock my hopping foot here, slide down with my thread, slide down the ditch, slide my ruler to the last sew line when the tape lines up, and then I come back and slide up. Now I'm going to do that all the way across, and the reason that we have that extension mark here is because once I get to here, I need a line to be able to follow through after the triangle to finish this corner. And it's going to be the same thing when I actually turn my ruler this way to go up the vertical line. I'm going to come up, and then of course once I get to here, if I didn't have that extension, I would have nowhere to go, which is how people get a little bit confused about how to actually do the curved crosshatch in the triangle shapes. So let's go ahead and sew that out now. Okay, so I have my thread locked and it's ready to go. I've got my ruler ready. I've got my tape on the bottom side of the ruler so that I don't have to stop and count every time. Remember, we're going to keep this middle line in the curved ruler, the Mista curve. And again, this is the double XL. We're going to have that going straight across, and we are not going to veer and come off of that center line with that. Now today we are working on an Innova, and we are working on a 22-inch Innova, the new machine at the studio. It's running amazing, I might say, but you can utilize obviously the same technique with any brand of machine that you have. So we're going to start here. We're going to line that up, lock my stitches, which I've already done. I'm going to come down. Once I make that curve coming across, I'm going to travel the ditch. I'm going to then slide my ruler. And again, normally we're actually going to be in a block, but we're doing this freeform so that you can see what I'm doing. And I would actually use more matchy thread, but for an example, we're going to use contrasting thread. So now I'm going to slide back to the ruler. We're going to work this just like we would any other curved crosshatch design. I'm back at the ruler. I'm going to head up. Go right into the tip, and then again, I'm going to travel the ditch and keep sliding the ruler over to go all the way across. Okay, so now we're in the area where we're actually coming on the chalk line that extends out from the goose's bottom. So again, we slid over in the ditch. I'm going to slide over, and again, my tape mark is going to go to where that last sew line would be. So I go back. Now, in some of the tips on the triangles, you kind of have to guess it a little bit, but you're going to end up pretty darn close. Slide down the ditch, slide over, make sure that I'm 3/4 of an inch away because we have that 1/4 inch foot. Come back, I'm going to slide down, and remember, we never do this without an extended base on, for obvious reasons. Slide the ruler. Again, I'm going to just guesstimate where this curve would have come out and take it right to the end of that. That looks about right. Bring it back. Once you've done this once or twice, it goes a lot faster than the first time you do it. And it's a wonderful way to doctor up corners in large blocks or large blocks, and also cornerstones in the corner of circular quilts or blocks. Now we are going to head up our vertical line. And so again, I just came right down here from where I finished off that last part. I'm going to slide my ruler up. Tape goes right to the line. Make sure you keep your center line right on the chalk line going up the vertical line. I'm going to come right over to the ruler. And now I'm going to go curve, come around, slide over in the ditch, slide the ruler, and actually if I were doing this on a quilt I'd probably be going just a little bit slower, but this is an educational tutorial. So we're going to come down and we're going to work our way all the way up, repeating the same process that we did horizontally. Now, with the bigger rulers, if you want to, if your hands are struggling just to keep it nice and flat and it shifts on you at all, even with the handle, just because of the size, I didn't need it with this, but you might want to just put just a little bit of the 505 on the back, and then that way it'll be just a little tacky for you. And that's if you struggle. I don't. Most people don't, but some people do. Just a little tip. It works better, in my opinion, than using any of that sandpaper tabs. Okay, so now we have finished our curved crosshatch in our triangle shape. And you can see now the process is a little bit different, but it's still fairly simple. And again, we did it with the extra large curves that are now available through the Quilter's Apothecary. And because most of you normally ask after the tutorials, this is a Bowen chalk pencil, which I absolutely love. I only use the white chalk in it, and it's one of my favorites. And I hope you enjoyed that tutorial, and have a wonderful day and take care of each other. We'll see you down the road.